All right, call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Winthrop School Committee meeting, Monday, October 30th at 6 p.m. in the Harvey Hearing Room. Ms. Ames, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Vecchia?
Present.
Mr. Capabianco?
Present.
Dr. Callis? Mr. Holden?
Yes.
Mr. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Perrin?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan?
Yes. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And Susan.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We do not have delegates and visitors tonight. There was no correspondence since our last meeting. Is there any public comment tonight?
Just quickly, first, from Winthrop and Special Olympics, we'd like to say thank you for waiving the fee for the last 2 months. We're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of new people show up. High school students are coming down, helping out with us, which has been great. So I just once again request that the next 2 months, if we can waive the fee, it's a huge asset to us. It's hard for us to come up with the money for stuff like that. So we appreciate it if you can do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment tonight? All right, well, next on our agenda are the minutes from October 12th, 2017. I think we're going to take these two separately. They were in our packet for review. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by President Sanford. Any discussion on the minutes from October 12th? All in favor say aye. Aye. Abstentions?
One. Abstain.
Thank you. Motion passes. Minutes are approved. The minutes for October 16th, 2017 were in our packet for review. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vecchia. Any discussion on the motion to accept the minutes for October 16th?
Point of clarification, I was out this meeting, the last meeting, I voted for this one, I abstained.
Oh, you'd like to change your vote for October 12th?
Yep,
Sure, yes.
and this one's abstained.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you. Any discussion on the October 16th minutes? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
One abstention.
Thank you. Okay, minutes are approved. Next, we have warrants. We have warrant SBW 18-7 in the amount of $195,359.80. And we'll take them both together. A payroll warrant SPW 18-5 in the amount of $620,306.65. I'll make a motion to approve them both together. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vecchia. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the warrants? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. The warrants are approved. And Superintendent, you said there's no budget transfers
There are no
today.
budget transfers this week.
Thank you. All right, next up we have buildings and grounds, the use of buildings and grounds. We have a request from Winthrop for Sundays for the William P. Gorman Gymnasium from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They did have a check for custodial fees and are asking to waive the rental fee, which we've done for them in the past. I'll make a motion to approve their buildings and grounds request with waiving their rental fee. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vecchia. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. So we will go ahead and approve the buildings and grounds request with the waiving of the rental fee for that. We also have a buildings and grounds request for Boston Taekwondo on Sunday, 12/17/17, 1:30 to 4:30 in the high school gymnasium for a belt ceremony. Comes with appropriate paperwork and fees. Winthrop School of Performing Arts for a weekend in December, for a holiday show for the Shapiro Performing Arts Center. Comes with appropriate paperwork and fees, and a request from Sam Chen, who's an occupational therapist in our district, for Sunday, May 20th from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Neil Shapiro Center Performing Arts for a tenor recital. It comes with appropriate rental and fees and paperwork. Excuse
Move
me.
to approve all three.
Thank you, Mr. Vecchia. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by President Sanford. All in favor say aye. Oh, any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. We're down to curriculum. Is there anything to update us with curriculum tonight?
Just a small update on curriculum contracts that we have, various curriculum contracts for things that carry over 2 or 3 year period. Those contracts have all been reviewed and are in the process of being paid. We are working with principals to continue to look at extensions of contracts and looking at things like tech books and ways to maximize the cost. We have not had a curriculum subcommittee meeting recently, but we will be having one soon to talk about some of those contracts.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is subcommittee reports. Mr. Vecchia, there was a superintendent evaluation subcommittee. Are you prepared to report?
I will update you. We met last Thursday, the 26th at 5 o'clock. The meeting lasted for an hour. It was myself, Mr. Capabianco, and the superintendent. We met with the superintendent for about an hour. We covered each one of the points in the evaluation, and we're getting close to come up with a complete recommendation for the board. We're waiting for any member that has had the evaluation sent to them. I've received 2 of them from yourself and Tino. So if anybody is going to let us know their comments about the superintendent's evaluation, once we receive them, we'll compile the information, make a recommendation to the full committee. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. So Ms. Hames did email people forms and data, I would say, to the members of the committee. If you could get that to Mr. Vecchia as soon as possible, that would be helpful. And Mr. Vecchia, is your plan to schedule another subcommittee meeting before
Yes.
any votes are taken? And
I'll send out an email with a cutoff date, and then after that, we'll set a meeting date prior to the next school committee meeting.
Right.
So we can get this done.
Okay.
Okay?
As per the superintendent contract, just to remind people, we have agreed to do this in October so that we would all be informed whether or not we would open up to a search committee, or if we would assess Superintendent Howard to be, our choice to move forward. So any helpful information you could forward to Mr. Vecchia would be appreciated. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. So a few things. This week you'll see the superintendent's monthly newsletter come out. My plan was to provide some communication to the community, our parents, students, and anyone else who would like to go onto our website to update them on the nice things that we're doing, some of the good happenings, some of our student achievements, which I really feel as though needs to be communicated school-wide. So that letter will be coming out, just a brief synopsis. It's not absolutely everything that we do in the buildings, but having the ability to spend time in every building, I would be remiss if I didn't communicate some of the things that I am seeing within those schools. So that will be coming out tomorrow. That will be number 2. It's the October report, and I plan to continue to do that throughout the school year. We had open house, middle and high school open house for our parents. We received some feedback from parents that open house was a little bit tight. Some parents were not able to get appointments for their students to be able to hear the teachers. We looked at the time, the amount of times teachers are able to spend with parents at the middle and high school level, and both Mr. Crombie and Mr. Curley and I decided that we needed to revisit that and to provide our parents with some more time and more appointment opportunities for them to be able to come in and discuss their students with the staff. So we are looking at options. We've met one time. We plan to meet again in November and look at moving forward how we can really meet the needs of the parents. And many of them had complained or expressed concern that there wasn't enough time, or that they got locked out of a calendar. And that's simply not acceptable for us at any level. So we're working on some alternatives. Any parent who did get locked out of the process, Mr. Curley has sent out an email to all the parents to ensure them that if they would like to come in, we will make a separate appointment, not necessarily on that day, however, at another date within close range to the date of the open house was. We are still in the process of putting together our school and community-based HEART team, which is the Hateful Act Response Team. We have engaged some members of the community already to assist us if and when an act occurs within the school district that requires our response. Our goal is to outreach the entire community, places like Boston, the Winthrop Taekwondo, some of our after-school programs, so that they can be involved in spreading the message of the district not tolerating any hateful acts. Once that committee is put together, I'll have more information for the committee regarding sort of the protocol and what our plan is for that. Some transportation information. We have 2 of our yellow buses require some repair. We received quotes for the small yellow school bus is in need of repair of about $2,500. We're looking in the budget right now at potential line items to be able to cover the cost for that so that we can keep that vehicle on the road. I met today in the town manager's office for our weekly town managers meeting, talking about surplusing some of the vehicles that are sitting in the parking lot at the high school that are no longer able to be driven or repaired. So we're looking at surplusing those, and we're in the process of having that done. And one of the large buses, we have an issue with the brakes on bus number 2. That went out for a quote for service, and we are looking to repair the brakes on that, as well as a belt on bus number 3. Just a quick update on those. Some of our after-school programs, I felt important to note that they are very vibrant. We have lots of students participating in front of the fort, the enrichment programs there, as well as the Arthur T. Cummings after-school program. The more students that we can keep in our district and in our school for a longer day, the better off we feel the students are. It's both socially and emotionally. They're interacting with each other, and really, if you go over there, it's loud, but lots of fun. So we're encouraging our students to continue and encouraging our staff to offer more programs for our students. I had the opportunity to go to the high school and participate in the college fair at the high school. I thought it was a great idea, and I know they've done it now for more than 1 year, but what a difference between getting all the students, putting them on a bus, and going out to a larger venue with multiple schools at a college fair. You could sense our students were comfortable. They were able to walk up to various college admissions coaches and ask questions and not feel like other students maybe looking over their shoulder, or they didn't seem to be too reluctant to ask questions. There were folks from the military there. We had several students showing off how many push-ups they could do and how high they could jump. I felt in speaking to some of our students that they communicated that same feeling, that it's a lot easier to do it here. Not so much the commute, but more so being surrounded by just their friends. Lots of parents attended, and what I've found very interesting and sort of encouraging was a lot of underclassmen attended, and Mr. Crombie spoke about the reason behind that is to have them something to aspire to. Just looking at, oh wow, these people come out, they're talking about what schools, UNH, Quinnipiac. There was a gamut of schools. I think we had over 30 vendors there. And so our students made some nice connections, and parents were also able to get to go. Oftentimes when we do it during the school day, the kids all go, they get a plastic bag, they come home with a bunch of stuff, leave it on the counter, parents kind of flip through it and organize it, and eventually are able to talk to the students, but the parents were able to really participate in it. So I felt like that was a super positive experience for our students. We are going to undergo a platform change. Our School Fusion page, which the teachers use quite a bit at varying levels, elementary more so than others, is retiring, and a new platform is coming aboard. The technology lingo sort of gets by me, so Gio and Petro, who are our technology guys, are working on formatting something so that the teachers are able to save the work that they have. They both believe there'll be some interruption in the website page for a short period of time. We'll be sure to let our parents know that as well. We have 3 teams in the tournament already, the soccer team, volleyball team, and golf team, so that's a nice place for our folks to be, for our student athletes. Next month we will have the junior and senior class presidents come to the school committee meeting. Each one will give you probably a 5-minute synopsis about what's happening in each class, just sort of an update everything from prom to athletic events, to bake sales, to car washes, which are our thing here in Winthrop. We do lots of car washes. I have the Miller Field meeting tomorrow with the town manager, the school's town attorney, as well as the attorney, I believe, from Gilbane, to receive an update on where we're at with permitting. I'd like to assure the committee that both Matt Crombie and Matt Serino have been sitting with me tirelessly, working on a plan so that when we are able to access that field, whether it be for one day or further, that there are plans in place. A little bit separate if it's one day compared to full term. We're working on manuals, facility manuals, as well as facility director responsibilities. We have looked at several different schools to be able to pull some of that information together, Gloucester, Ipswich, a whole bunch of them, to be able to look at the manuals that they have put together and see how we could equate that to our facility. So lots of work to be done. We believe that if the field is ready and we're given the green light to utilize it for the Thanksgiving Day game, that we will have our ducks in a row to be able to just open up if it is only for that one day. Lots of parameters around opening up on that day, and we will have all of those laid out once we're told that that field is back in our hands. I think that might be it.
I do know that the MCAT scores were received in your office. I'm wondering
Yes.
about a timeline that I know parents
The presentation.
are curious and
Sure.
when they'll be finding out.
So the next generation MCAS scores were received, so grades 3 through 8. We received their scores as part of the next generation MCAS, which is a new sort of playing ground for our students. It's difficult to compare the scores from the next generation MCAS result to anything else, which is helpful and frustrating all at the same time. The principals met with me last week. They're meeting again with me this Thursday to talk about how we will be rolling that out to the school committee, what would be the best way to deliver the information. And it looks good, the information, the initial look. We don't have item analysis yet. That's always exciting to look at. But they would like to be able to come in and give you an overview of what the scores look like and what other data they're using in terms of and what are they doing with the data in planning and looking at curriculum. And then the high school as well. High school is not new generation MCAS, so they're a little bit easier to make comparisons with. And Mr. Crombie would like to also share that information with you as well. The superintendent from Essex Agricultural School participates in the Superintendent Association, the larger group. He had some time to come by and talk to me out of a courtesy of being a new superintendent, but also as a friend. and he has a great deal of knowledge in how to roll out data plans based on this new generation MCAS, given his background of work with the evaluation prior to it coming into play. So that was nice of him to come out. So he has some suggestions that I'll share, but I anticipate a rollout of that in November, probably the second meeting in November, if not the first week in December.
Great, thank you. You want to start right into personnel?
Sure. So personnel, at this point, we do not have any appointments. However, we do have a resignation of the guidance secretary, Mariana, who is just a tremendous asset to the guidance department in a whole host of ways, from working with our I-20 students to SAT organization and getting students enrolled to community service. And she has received a job in a different community doing something totally different, but utilizing her multiple languages that she speaks. So though it's a tremendous loss for us, I do believe for her it was a step in the direction that she wanted to go career-wise. So we thank her very much for her service. Retirements, we have none. Postings, we have posted the drama positions, the stipended positions that are in the contract for tech management as well as oversight of the plays. We have posted the guidance secretary position in athletics. We've posted the tennis coach and lacrosse coaches at this point. And leave of absence, as of today, we have none.
Thank you. I'd just like to say good luck to Mariana Babine too. I think she's given a lot to this district in a couple of different positions that she's held here, and she was a great asset, and it'll be very hard shoes to fill.
Sure.
for all the skills that she had that was above and beyond her job description, I would say. We have nothing under new business. Under unfinished business, we have the second reading of multiple policies. Yes, Vice Chair Perrin?
I'd like to make a motion that we waive the second reading on all the policies unless someone has a specific policy they'd like to discuss.
I'll second it.
Second by President Sanford. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Would you like to make a motion to approve them? Or adopt them?
I'll make a motion we adopt them as written.
I'll second it. Any discussion on adopting these policies as written? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. The new policies will be adopted and placed in our, I think on our website. Are all the new policies on our website?
I have to
All the
defer that
policies
question
are on
to
our
Patty.
website now,
They
yeah.
are, yes.
Awesome, okay, great. So we're back to public comment. Any more public comment tonight? No? Perfect. Public relations, Mr. Vecchia?
Nothing here.
Mr. Capabianco?
Nothing.
I hope that everybody has a safe and happy Halloween holiday tomorrow. I know the center is always booming with the event that gets planned, and the Webster Credit Union puts it on, and they just like to get donations of canned goods at their office before people start the walk around the center. So it's a great event. Mr. Perrin?
I just wanted, I can't remember exactly what the drop-off date is for the pie sales for the Winthrop High School, the senior class. Do we have that? I
It's
just
on
want
the
to make sure
website.
that that gets out.
It'll be in my packet that is advertised tomorrow, I know that.
They're from Spinelli's this year, I noticed.
Spinelli's, yes.
Not, usually you get it from.
Just trying to look it up to make sure we get the information
Is
out
it in
there.
here?
Oh, it was in the last
It's
one.
on Facebook.
It is on Facebook,
All right.
which I can't get from my
Well-
phone here. But just want to make sure people know that those pies are available. I don't know what the shut-off date is.
It's for the senior class?
I believe it is the senior
It'll be in my
class.
superintendent's letter that'll be posted
I think
tomorrow
it's-
morning.
I think it's
Excellent.
at least another week.
Yeah, I just want to make sure people
Yeah.
start ordering.
Oh, probably, yeah. Okay.
That's it for me.
Yes. President Sanford?
No, nothing on my end, thank you.
Good.
Ms. Holden? All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Vice Chair Perrin. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
They were going to be this short. I would pull papers again.